play. There's some special stuff going on this morning. Can you speak a little bit to your former teammate, former player, getting a statue outside, what that means to you, what you think it, inspires?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Sue is Seattle. She is the storm. She's, an ambassador for women in sport, women's basketball. Even still, after her career is done, she's been so impactful with, her voice, her platform, to have her and her career commemorated in a statue is special. Not a lot of people get things like that. And so, you understand the impact that she made, not only on the basketball court, but in this community for our game globally. It was an honor to play with her. It was an honor to coach her. She's one of the smartest people I know. The way that she worked, that she was dedicated to, her craft, but also she was a competitor and wanted to win all the time. And she did that at a high level and consistently. And the body of work speaks for itself. And I'm so, happy for her that she has something for everyone to see every single day, no matter if she's in Seattle or not. And, she's a special person and is super deserving of this honor.
Over here, Coach. Dom's really been getting some important minutes, and obviously you've seen her growth as a player. Talk to me a little bit about that growth and how you kind of seen her, also just play big in big moments.
Yeah, it's Dom gets better in games. The season like this, we don't have a lot of practice. It's still so surprising that she's only 19 and able to just get all the information that she needs and finds ways to be productive. The work that she's putting in outside of, the game is really showing up inside of the game. And she's very smart. Still, has a lot of things to work on. That she's finding ways to work on them in the game. But, the physicality of the game the other night, guarding BG, some calls didn't go our way just because sometimes those are the things that you face as a rookie. But her confidence and her poise to go up against all of these matchups, all stars, future Hall of Famers, she doesn't get fazed by the moment too often. And again, the productivity and the minutes matter. So, a lot of things are happening simultaneously. It's a young player developing, but also a player that we need to have to contribute the way that she does. So I'm excited for her growth, her continued growth, and what she's showing is definitely a direct reflection of the work.
Hey, Coach. Finally got one to go your way. How's kind of the vibe been in the facility since that win, and how important was it to, put that full 40 minutes of effort in and actually get it paid off with a win?
Yeah, I think it's important for this group to see, the things that we've been through the last couple of weeks come into play again, but also we are on the other side of that, get a win out of that. And I think that did a lot for our group. There were a lot of contribution from a lot of people in a lot of areas. And the moments that, we were faced with in Vancouver, we overcame them. And I think everybody was poised in the moment because we've been through in so much. But to capitalize off of it and get a win against a really good and hot Atlanta team, that was important for us. And now it's about stacking days and trying to mimic what we did as far as just the vibe, the poise, the execution, and the full 40.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, short sample size with having Brittany Sykes on the team. Can you talk about the impact that she's had in the time that you've coached her, and just the luxury she's been for the team this season?
It's been awesome. First and foremost, just her presence in the locker room, like her voice, her leadership, and what she says. I haven't really been around Slim, didn't play with her, never coached her, but always just competed against her. But to hear how she talks about the game, her preparation, it's not just like what she talks about on the defensive end. We know she's a very good defensive player, but how she sees the floor offensively and what she's pouring into the group. Like she's coming into a situation where the pieces that we have, we don't have a lot of time, but she's so positive with it and understands that she can impact us not only on the court, but again, just with her energy, her positivity, her talk. And yeah, she's been a great addition.
Coach, you mentioned mimicking those efforts from Friday night to bring them into the next part of the season. What are some of those tangible takeaways that you can take away from Friday night's victory and to help you guys?
Yeah, I mean, early on in the season, we weren't getting the 50-50 balls. And there are a ton of plays that happened in that game. The Gabby touch to Slim to get the transition, the Ezzy monster block, but to save it and give us an extra possession. These are things that weren't kind of happening consistently for us. And I think, when you're able to secure 50-50 balls and you're able to get these momentum plays that does something for us as a group. I think our focus never lacked. I think our confidence never dropped. There are particular moments in the game in which we could have went the other way, being down 5, but then quickly getting it back, needing to stop, the review not going our way. Like there are moments in the game that it could have went the opposite way, but I thought that the talk that was in the huddle never wavered. And understanding what that moment meant for us. And so those were a lot of the intangibles that not necessarily you quantify in a box score, but qualify with where we need to be and how we need to play.
One of the adjustments you mentioned on Friday night was sort of flipping the matchups
Yeah.
with Slim and Gabby. What kind of options does it give you to have two players that are used to guarding the best opponent?
Yeah, I'm beating myself up. I wanted to do it the first game, but but Howard was coming off of that injury and it was on a minute restriction until she played us. But it's, Howard's cadence is different from Gray's. And Gabby did a good job against Gray in Atlanta because we were trying to scheme for how she plays. Howard is a little bit more unpredictable, and I think Slim does a good job of unpredictability because of her athleticism and her quick twitch and able to stay in plays and things like that. So it was more personnel based and action based than anything else. And obviously, with those players knowing each other's cadences, it really helped to stay in plays with Howard or get great to being uncomfortable. And I thought both players did really well with paying attention to those details. And then the backside of that is, having Ezzy in the game late. I know, we talk about offense, defense, but just her timing with that, even with Bree Jones stuff, though she was impactful in the paint. I thought, Ezzy was another catalyst behind whatever happened in front of the ball. We knew Ezzy was on the floor to kind of clean up what was going to happen behind the ball.
All right, final question. Charles, go ahead.
I know you faced Phoenix a few times early on. How different are they? When you match up this, I know a lot has occurred since those early battles.
Yeah, their team is totally different from the first time that we played them. They're still, figuring out their flow with DB added. Last time a lot of Hild, a lot of Laxa, a little less and a little more Brown. These 3 players haven't really played a ton, but it'll be interesting to see if they play today. Not sure what Makani's status is. That changes things as well. But at the end of the day, they're still a very talented team with a lot of individuals who can score at a high clip. AT is playing at an MVP caliber level. The way that she facilitates and gets them going. Not much has changed with who they are. They want to take a lot of threes. They have a high pace about themselves. They share the ball really well. And so with that, no matter who's on the court, it's going to be a difficult matchup.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.